this painting here is the tornado.
Yeah.
And it speaks not just to caregiving, but it also speaks to the actuality of death and the grief that comes with that as well. But I painted this probably within the first year sometime. And I just, when I painted this, I remember it very, very well. I was feeling very helpless and both physically and emotionally because you're exhausted on every level
Yeah.
and there's no relief at all.
So you kind of
Very,
got trapped in the
I
caregiving.
sure did, sure did.
Wow, Miss.
And, it was the strain, a constant strain for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And so it just puts you in such a unique position. And it was like when you see that little drip over to the side at the
Yes.
top, that was an accident. I had just dripped some paint on there. But then when I look at it, I think that was like life is leaking beyond my control.
Yes.
And I intentionally use these ugly colors because that's, I'm clinging to the side of this
Yes.
tornado, just trying to hang on to exist physically, emotionally, spiritually. And then so I'm clinging to the tornado, but what's coming up out of it is just ugly. I
Yes.
couldn't find anything pretty in life. And
Right.
then you have all these other little, tornadoes spinning around you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I gotta do that. Oh, I gotta do that. And I don't know. You're just hanging on for dear life. Those fingers are strained, they're gripping, and you just the whole time you feel like you're losing ground.
One of the things you shared at the beginning of this, which I think is so fabulous, this picture, is that the grief that comes after the caregiving ends, right?
Right.
And I just jotted down one of the reasons is because you're living by the clock, right? You're in the middle
Yeah.
of the tornado, you're living by the clock. Okay, time for the shot. Okay, time for the bath. Okay, the nurse
Yep.
is coming. You live by the clock for 2.5 years.
Yep.
Everything about Jerry was a calendar and a clock,
Yeah.
and that ends. That calendar and clock ends. That's number one. Number two, your job ends.
Yep.
So even everyone was like, go to Monterey. You didn't pack a bag and just get up and go because now it's like you're also grieving the end of your job.
Right. And I think I expressed to you earlier too that okay, by the time he died, I was so emotionally spent and
Yes,
exhausted.
yes,
And now I got to deal with the grief of his death. And
yes,
it's like, I don't have the energy to do that.
yeah, yeah,
But of course, my body and my soul said, yeah, well, we got a better plan. You're going to do it whether you think you can do it or not.
yes,
And
exactly.
I think I surprised myself that when he died, well, here was the conundrum of the whole situation. I needed it to be over so bad,
Yeah.
but the only way it could be over was for him to die. So then you're so conflicted. I didn't feel guilty, but you're just so
Oh,
conflicted.
conflicted.
And then I thought when he would die, it would be such a relief, but it wasn't. It wasn't at all.
When my dad was sick, he was sick for 7 years, not on hospice for 7 years, but
Right.
7 years with prostate cancer. I remember praying to God to take him.
Yep.
And there was this short window where I had this relief. And then immediately I went into the regret and the guilt,
Yep.
praying
Yep.
God to take him and the relief of all of that pain that went along with it. So yes, it is conflicted feelings. And yes,
Yeah.
your job is ended. And yes, because I could imagine, Miss Hope, you're in this tornado, but you were jumping to the next tornado and the next tornado
Yep.
and the next tornado. You're riding them all out as the caretaker.
Right. And, again, just like after your person dies, they're there for you in the beginning, but then the longer it goes on, they're not there anymore,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know? And like I say, they're pissed at you for not just going and having some fun,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like, why are you pissed at me for loving and caring about this
Yeah.
man?
Yeah.
And I'm going to be real honest here. There was a point I remember saying this. I wish Jerry was demented
Mm,
because if he had been demented, I could place him somewhere and get out
yeah.
of this hellhole,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, who wishes for that, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. I love your honesty there because your mind goes in so many different directions. I mean, I
oh, it's the
literally
truth.